Hello and welcome to the first ever Moxie Books Bang for Your Book Hot Seat. And so this is a little thing whereby I basically show the world what a book coach is, because I have come to realize that not everybody knows what it is that I do. So this is your opportunity if you're watching this and thinking, how can I get like an idea of what a book coach does and how can I get a little bit of help with my book, but without spending any money just yet. Well, this is it. You can submit a question to me and I may or may not choose it. And if I do choose it, you can hop on and we will dig into it for about 10 minutes. And then I'll send you away with stuff to do. So if you're thinking, okay, that's a lot of words, but how does this work? Well, I have an amazing lady here who is volunteered to be my first ever Bang for Your Book Hot Seat guest. And it's the beautiful and lovely and wonderful Yinka Ewuola. Hi,
Hi,
Yinka.
Hi, Vicky. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited that we're here and I'm so excited to do this.
Me too. Okay, so very, very quickly tell us who you are and what you do, and then tell us what book you're working on and ask your question, please.
Okay, so I do a number of things. I focus on supporting women in business to build thriving and profitable businesses while living full, fab, and nourishing lives. And I therefore am writing a book to help them do that, specifically around the idea of cash flow. Cash flow is so my jam right now because whether in the area of mindset or business strategy, what I do know is that cash flow is the air of any business. No cash flow, no business, and yet no one's talking about cash flow.
Right, I know. Okay, so that sounds awesome. So tell us, so you're writing a book for people to help them with cash flow.
Yes.
So what's your question today? What can I help you with?
Okay, so the working title is The Secrets of Consistent Cash Flow. It's aimed at women who are experiencing cash flow feast and famine. So often, they have money, then they don't have money, then they have it again, then they don't. Then it's
You know how
relief,
that goes.
then it's misery. Yeah. And my question is, obviously, I want this book to be as valuable as possible. I want to make sure that I actually do reveal the secrets. Um, but at the same time, the book is designed to support my business, and is designed to be a lead magnet of sorts into other things. And so I'd really love some insights into how to really think about having the right line between giving the value and all of the things, as well as thinking about it in terms of supporting my business objectives to bring them into my world. Hopefully love my ideas and my voice, and wanting them to go on into other areas of my business.
Cool. Good question. Great question, in fact. I'm going to preface it by saying, of course, they're going to love you and want to know more about you, because to know you is to love you. But I have two things to say to you, and I'll dig into them in a little bit more detail. But reader journey and writer journey. So start with the reader journey, which is actually it's a really simple thing that you can kind of dig into and make as detailed as you want. But it's a case of, where is your reader right now? So meeting them where they're at right at the beginning. You know that really well because this is your jam. So you know where they're starting. Where do they want to get to? And that's like, where did they want to be? Who do they want to be by the time they're finished reading your book? So it's like, what question, what challenge have they got? Really specifically as well. So, cash and money is like a massive area, as I know you know. So it's like, but you're focusing specifically on cash flow. So really be very narrow about this. And it's like, okay, so what do you want in the context of who your reader is and what they are struggling with and what their immediate concerns are, where they are and where they want to be, like what type of person they want to be. And then you can think about where you're taking them on the way, but you're talking specifically about you want this to be a great book for your reader and also for your business. So that's the first thing. And the second thing with the writer journey is, you're still starting off with where your reader is, and also where you are as well. So you can start off with what you've got to offer, some of your story. But then we think about where you want to take your reader. So yes, of course, you want to take them where they want to go, but beyond that, what do you want them to do next? And that might be like a really kind of, that might be like a nothing to do with you or nothing to do with your business thing. It's like, what do you want them to do? It might be, oh, you know what, I want them to go away and I want them to do their numbers. That might be the thing that you want them to do at the end of the book. And you might also then be like, okay, well, you've done your numbers. Now you can come and talk to me. So what would your call to action be for the end of that book? And because it's a book and we spend more time with books, you can have multiple calls to action as well, which is nice. So not like 1,000 of them, but you can have like a 2 or 3. One of them I like to have with books like that. I like to get people to do a thing themselves that they don't need me for, and I also like them to then be able to come and do something with me. So maybe it's like check out my templates, or check out, join my email list. Always want people on my email list, because the problem with the book is that they've read it, they've read the book. If they haven't bought it from you directly and they bought it from Amazon, you've got no way of getting back in touch with them really, unless they come to you. So I really want to get people on my email list. Does that help?
That's so helpful and actually really inspiring, because I think I discovered through a recent live learning event that I did that there are 7 secrets. But the 7 secrets kind of wrap into, I would say, 2 or 3 key calls to action. And so you describing the fact that, I can basically share the secrets, really kind of group the calls to action to give them something, a sense of self-belief, a new skill, a new perspective, a new way of looking at things. So this is really exciting to me. What it also tells me, though, is that it gives me the opportunity to create, potentially some really additional resources or something, to entice them even more to come. And so I don't want them to read it and go, that was interesting. Yeah. I definitely want them to go, oh my gosh, this is really game changing. I need to do something about what I'm learning. So that gives me I've obviously heard of the reader journey. I've not really heard of the writer journey. So having spent a lot of time around a certain book coach, this has been really, really, really empowering and really inspiring. And I'm actually really excited to write this book now, which I wasn't so much before I came in. I was like, reader journey. But now writer journey is like, yeah, I get to take them where I want to go too.
Absolutely, yeah, because people think, it is all about the reader. Of course it is, unless you're writing your book just for you and you're printing 1 copy. Of course you want people to read it. But also it is about you as well. It's like, it has to be about you and about what you want to put out there and about what you want to get out of it. So, and this is also, I'm really glad you asked this question, and we've had this little chat about it as well, because one of the things that I think people don't always understand is like the difference between a memoir or a book of essays or something like that, and then a book that is for business. And it doesn't have to be like a formulaic business book, because we've all seen those. But this is that difference. It's like, it's not just something that people are going to love, it's something that people are going to use. And that's the key. It's like, you want people to feel something, and you want them to feel changed, and you want them to think. And memoirs and essay books and things like that absolutely should do those things as well. But the difference here is that you want them to then take that and do something physical with it, and to make that change in the world. So if you can think of it like that, think of it as, what do you want them to physically do? Almost as if it's like, this is a book of recipes. I want people to make the stuff in the recipe book, right? You can think of that as your book as well. This is a recipe for what are people making at the end of it? That might be a useful way to think about it as well.
Oh, I really like the recipe analogy as well, because it gives you the chance to bring in the different ingredients, but also talk about, quantities and methods. And I'm obsessed with recipes and food. So that was the perfect analogy for me. So no, I love this.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay. Well, that was awesome. And this is the very first hot seat that I'm doing. So I am going to babble a little bit now. But in future, if you're watching this, there is going to be a few minutes at the end for people to ask their questions. So I will be keeping I'm kind of keeping a vague eye on the chat. I will look at the chat after I finish talking to my beautiful guests. And if anyone has questions that they want to ask based on this, based on the question that we've talked about, then they can drop them in and we'll have a few minutes for questions afterwards. So as it's just the 2 of us, Yinka, do you have any questions?
I really don't. I feel quite empowered now, because I was like, okay, I know the 7 secrets. How do I start the book? And actually, you've given me really powerful starting point. I'm going to talk to them about where they are now. I'm going to talk to them about where I was and a bit about my journey now. And then going to take them through, show them what's possible by, persevering and understanding what the 7 secrets are. And then I'm going to then take them through. And, I've got stories on my own journey in life on all of the secrets, and basically all the tears I cried to learn each of them. It's just basically so much of the book. But like I said before, I was like, I promised an ebook, I need to write an ebook. But now it's actually going to be really, it's going to be a great opportunity to share something really powerful. So I have no questions, but I genuinely am so incredibly inspired to be able to write this book now. So
Yay. Well, I'm super excited about it. So before we go, where can people find out more about this book of yours, Yinka?
good question. Okay, so they can come find me on socials, either Facebook or LinkedIn are my best DMs. Slide into my DMs. I will have hyperlinks on my social profiles. And yeah, at some point there will be some form of website for it. But for now, socials, DMs is the best place to find me.
Amazing. And I will obviously be linking to Yinka in on this stream wherever they appear online. I'm about to finish this and then learn about what happens next. So this is fun. And if you would like to be on this hot seat, if you would like a hot seat of your own, drop me a DM and I will, or drop a comment below wherever this ends up, and I will pop the link down there for you. You can, it's totally free of charge. So yeah, come ask me anything about writing a book, and if I can help you, I will. In the meantime, Yinka, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute delight. And thank you to anyone who is watching. I will see you next time.